nini na nini, hizi raha mingi nyingi ama za kujua machumchum za kufanya 1 2 3 unaget. Na ni hivyo tu msee alienda mpaka saka kwa absent kabisa karibu wiki mzima kukam, ani hivyo alichujwa job. So wengine wanatafuta job wengi na wengine pia in the other side wanaharibu. So as we address this unemployment governor create whatever pia let's talk about ourselves. Are we willing to take anything that comes our way as we wait for another thing like hiyo kitu big unaget? My youths wengi I understand wamesoma wako na papers and everything, you know, but pia if for example me nilifanya community development but I've never practiced that thing anywhere, man. Sijai practice popote. Mimi unajua sisi kwetu ulikuwa unamaliza high school kama madha mekuchuja. Unaget? Unamaliza high school kama umechujwa. Ukisikia tu umetumwa Nairobi wewe ni hivyo imeenda. Huwezi rudi home, unaget? So ukitumwa Nairobi unajua tu that's it. Hakuna kurudi. Zile manguo umepack ni hivyo. So from Nairobi hapo tu unaanza kufigure out what you need to do. Uende kule nini na nini. Na ni hivyo. And so far mi nilikuwa fikiria mother tupendi ama nini, but nilikuja kurealize alikuwa tu fungua like kiakili fulani, like usikae tu kingoja tu like the next thing ama nini, juu yeye alifanya part yake, una get, the rest ni up to you, una get. So I think pia tusikue tu watu pia tuna complain. Unajua Wakenya tunakuwa na tabia nyingine fulani, we complain too much, una get, una complain too much, but as we complain about the government, about and everything else, pia tujiangalie sisi na character zetu. Pia unajua employment pia natakaga mtu mwenye kuna character fulani, una get. Hakuna vile utakuwa employed and then pia nini au deliver ama wewe si mtu mwenye ako straightforward, wewe ni hizi mapinji una get, like do yeze kama mahali wewe ushapita nayo, una get. So some things pia sisi youthment pia tunakosea sana. With all that said, thank you very much for giving me a chance to speak, Tipi, and thank you for always hosting this space. And let me rest my case there. Thank you very much.
Asante sana. What Dako always has a thing to say about our tip. Asante sana bwana Dako, and of course anasema tuna complain a lot. Mimi ningependa tu kuwakumbusha kwamba show yangu hii inasupportiwa na nyinyi wasikilizaji. Let me speak it out. Initoke. You know, when I started this program, I started it because I felt like I was waiting too much for a job that would never come. I applied for radio jobs and all this. They weren't coming through because, first of all, I do not twang. Yeah. Anyway, so yote tisa kumi ni kwamba I just found myself behind the mic one day doing home run with PP, and all I can say, as they say, it's history. Ni historia baada ya hapo. But the most important thing to take home today is there is a youth man listening to me right now who is not able to sit down in front of the mic to talk to someone. And unemployment is a big issue. Personally, I stopped applying for jobs probably mid last year, but I had gotten a lot of rejection mail by then. Guys are saying you need to see what you said wrong on your CV and all. Some of these jobs you just didn't get right because of luck. Anyway, if you like what you're doing, there is a Tipja line which helps us keep this studio running. Asante sana Gloria, I've seen your tip. Gloria ametuanzishia wiki vizuri. Ingia pale hivi kwenye Tipja line and support us. Of course, this studio is kept open by you. The lights and the internet, of course, is supported by your tips. So if you like what you're doing, ingia pale hivi kwenye Tipja and support the show. Now we are 9 minutes to 7 p.m. Remember, Home Run EPP runs all the way to 9 p.m. East Africa, and I'm willing to hear from you as well. You can request the microphone. Shout out to you. Ayo the 6th. Nakuona pale ndani Patrick, nakuona pale ndani Mohamed, naona nane mwingine Benson, Odero, Obonyo, and of course Nyakweba. Mwingine tunaona pale ndani Paukwa na data activist na Western Shilaho. Eli Likuyani ameinua mkono juu. I'm going to go to Eli Likuyani, Oluwande, and the star for some rebuttals. And of course, if you're a new speaker, request the microphone and talk to us. Eli.
Yes, PP, that's me again. And I would love to associate myself with the statements from the previous speaker who just dropped from the mic. And he mentions about us taking the opportunities that exist as we work towards what we want to achieve in a nutshell. So I would love to propose the following, that number one, whereas we agree that there is a need to reevaluate the job market, the hiring process and procedures, it is also important for those who are positioning themselves for those job opportunities to actually live with the reality of the market. Because I have heard this saying that consistency supersedes talent. And many might not agree. And people, like you said it earlier, it looks like some people are just lucky. But I can tell you some people might have the luck, but as long as you're not consistent with what you do and how you do it, you may just lose out on that opportunity. So my encouragement is not to assemble for a pity party, and also understand the reality that we face. There is need for the job market and hiring process to be reviewed, not just from the private sector, but also from the public sector. But let us, as young people who are positioning ourselves for the job market, to also embrace consistency. If you try out something today and of course this is not working, what are you doing more than that to ensure that you actually achieve the goal of which you have set yourself to achieve? Number two, I also try to distance myself from pity party, because I believe there is always something cut out for everyone. There is a lady that shared, I think it's Malia if I'm not wrong, and if I'm wrong, you'll correct me, that she joined the British Army, I believe so, to learn how to cook. And by the time she was done with 1 year, she knew how to clean well, but she was still in the same position. And she's a graduate in a different field, as a teacher, I believe, so English literature. But then again, what skills she was able to acquire, out of interest, I will ask today, what did she do with those skills? PP, many people that you will meet today in the job market, they'll tell you practiced or rather trained as an engineer in, let's say, in the construction, whatever. But today I do 1, 2, 3 things that are far away from what I studied. Simply put, not just because you went to class to study pure mathematics, you'll actually be solving mathematical problems. Remember, you are a problemist. And if you look up for the problemist, it's somebody that solves out complex mathematical issues. And life is exactly that. So how do we position ourselves to become problemists and not people with problems? So, PP, I want to appeal and encourage everyone that is on this platform today that it is okay to feel down and feel as if the system has already a predefined destiny for you. But until you go back and recheck through your journey, understand what you got wrong and what you can do better, you'll always find somebody else to lay the blame on. As I conclude, people, I was one of the best translators in my journalism class from English to Swahili. Today, I'll not tell you that I am one of the best Swahili speakers, but I speak Swahili. Not because I don't understand jinsi ya kutunga sentensi, but it's because I haven't been consistent in speaking Swahili. So somebody else who is doing it today will do a damn better job than I do in that field. And if we were to be positioned for a hiring job, if I came with my scores and be given the job, I'll definitely not be able to do as per the expectation of the hiring manager. And therefore, I repeat that consistency supersedes talent. Do what you do and do it to the best of your level. It will eventually pay up. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Eli Likuyani anasema consistency pays. Hope yangu itakuja kulipa siku moja bwana. Unajua saa zingine wanakuambia hivyo, unangoja. Have you ever been in that position where you keep on waiting for that payment but it is not paying? Yeah. Unajua saa kitu moja mnafaa mjue, especially when you're addressing these situations, there are people who are actually really struggling to even make a living. Somebody is listening to us right now. Amefanya hizi vitu zote na bado haoni namna. So yes, let's also be alive to these facts that si kila mtu mwenye anafanya hizi vitu eti ni lazy ama hajawahi apply. There are people who have crazy. My best friend has a crazy CV in terms of his skills za kuandika. I've listened to him get interviewed here. He's well spoken. He's worked for international brands and all. Lakini wakati ikifika wakati wa kuchagua, I don't know what happens. Always missing the mark. So there is also that kasumba that is going on. So I don't understand. Olwande.
Thank you so much, Pipi. And I want to acknowledge to the last speaker that I'm the one who was talking about the British Army issue. I worked there previously. And you've really brought out the point that I brought out clearly. First, I said that when I worked there, I loved cooking, but I wanted to be a professional cook. So I could not get the job as a chef, but I could get it as a cleaner. But through cleaning, I would learn because I was working in the kitchen. So after learning, I got bored and I had to step out. So on it, but these days I still cook for people when I'm always called to events, and I go there and cook and get my money and come back home. So it's not like I stopped doing it because that is my additional skill that I love to do. Now, I want to talk about the skills. I want to talk about, there's a speaker who spoke that he's an employer and he was bringing up other issues that he's sympathizing with the employer. So I want to rebuttal on the same. I want to talk about skills and non-skills. Someone talked about it and even said that if you are applying for international jobs, they will give you two categories, skilled and non-skilled. For example, when I was working with the British Army Training Unit Kenya, I was under unskilled group. That's why I was cleaning, because you don't need any skills to do that. Everybody can clean. So coming to it, for me, I don't believe that there is someone in this world who lacks a skill. Talking as a teacher, when you teach students, the moment you get into the classroom, there are always three categories of students. There are fast learners, there are middle learners, and the academic dwarfs. Academic dwarfs, most of the time, cannot do well in school, but they have special skills. Huyo ni mtu mwenye akijua kuchora, anachora, my friend. Anachora nyakikaa chini ya kuchorea, unashangaa. Huyo ni mtu kama ni kupika ndio anajua. And most of the time, I see deaf people with special disabilities, wanakuanga poa sana kwa hiyo sector. If you give that person hata mat, anajua kutengeneza mat. Akikutengenezea mat, ni mat ukitoka hapo unasema kweli, huyu amefanya kazi. So there is no one who has no skill. The problem that is here, wengine ina take time kujua, what are you good at? There's a time I was talking to a CEO, na alikuwa ananiambia, yeye alikuwa mpaka manamba, alikuwa amejaribu modeling, akaona infit, amejaribu biashara infit, amekuwa manamba, after some time akaacha. But somehow, kuna business yenye alianza, na wakati alianza hiyo business, ikamkubali. So, hapo ndo akarealize, I've been wasting my time, but I'm good in doing business. So, people take time to recognize their skill, and especially with the academic system that we had previously, where people had to be in class first, at a certain point, ndo wanze kuangalia, what can you do? So more, speaking as a teacher, ulikuwa unapata from 2 students to be precise, ungewauliza form 1 wanataka kukua nini, they have big dreams, wengine wanakuambia engineer, doctor, sijui lawyer. Ikifika form 2 watu wanaenda form 3, go and ask the same student, unapatanga hajui kitu wanataka kufanya. It is because the system of education was in a position where people must pass exams, and that is the system we've gone through, to be honest. So hakuna mtu hana skills. Talking on the skills and education, most times saizi unapata watu wamegraduate, yes, and tech part of it is very important. I was in Maseno University. I did Bachelor's of Education Arts with IT. So in Maseno University, IT was essential. So I did it. That is not the same as the person who was in KU, ama alikuwa JKUAT. People did different courses. Now, wakifika kwa job market, mimi have gone to interviews. Some of them have got the jobs. Lakini in each and every interview, I always learn a new thing. Kuna time nilienda in an interview as a project manager, and I told them, yeah, I am a project manager. I have experience of over 2 years. Then they asked me, in your project management, what tech do you use to improve project management as a skill? I lost that job because at that time I didn't know. So unapata unaulizwa hizi tech part of it. So mi wanasema, fine, umesha fanya degree yako, and that is how now the skills come in. Just try and learn the new skills that are there, the technical part of it, because that's how when you wako kwa hizo jobs, they go for those trainings. Unapata kama kuna Microsoft training, they have gone there, they learn the skill. Wakikuja, wako pa than you. So mi wanasema, all of this, ukienda kwa internet, there are so many academies. You can learn all these skills online. For example, right now, people are trying to learn AI. There is AI for educators. There are all those courses there that people can do. Ukienda ka 1 million teachers account, you create your account there. There will be several courses that you can do to improve yourself as a teacher. So the most important part of it, vile mtu alisema before, learn what is so special, what is it about this job market, so that when you go, if you get a chance to go for an interview, you will know what the job market wants. Hata kama hujapata hiyo kazi, at least you will have a rough idea. Which skills should I sharpen for myself? So that is number 1. Number 2, employment laws. Somebody as an employer talked about why is it that employees are stealing? You want to get some money, or you expect that you have to get a profit, but you find some of your employer maybe are not working to your expectations. So what can you do? First of all, as an employer, set goals. Me, I've worked in organizations zenye pressure peke yake inakupiga mpaka unasema, he, nisipofika hii target mi hata sijui nitaambia mdosi nini. So those kind of goals must be there. Secondly, are you treating your employees right? Employees, right? That is a serious question you should ask yourself as an employer. According to labor laws, an employee should work for around 45 hours a week. Some organization, it is 35 hours. There should be leave for around 21 days. Yes, there is probation that is always there. Again, there are some benefits you can give your employee, motivations. So this is what I was even lacking in the British Army. I want to show my skills. But you see, when I work hard and I'm not recognized as somebody who is working hard, most of the time I will be demoralized. And people like me, like I said, I'm a teacher and people are different. You know, fast learner, the moment umekuja class, ukafundisha matrices, ashaelewa. Kesho, unafunza the same matrices, unaasumia hajaelewa. That student will be bored. And that is how some people are. Some people, they cannot do one thing and especially if they're not seeing those challenges. Everybody anataka challenge. Ile anaona there is a progress anafanya kwa maisha yake. Because you see, you don't just work for the sake of it. You work to improve your career, to feel the warmth of employment, to get recognized. Everybody anataka achieve something in his or her life. Aufanyi tu kazi ati bora umefanya. So I think this is the point where most employers lose it. You have a business, maybe you've employed 10 people, you are not giving them targets, you are not following up. What can they do better? For example, Mimi, I'm a good marketer. I can do for you a good marketing job in terms of online work. But now when it comes to talking to an employee personally, that is where the problem comes in. Nitaenda hapo huyo customer naona nimejipaka sana kwanza I love red blood lipstick. Anajiuliza sasa huyu amekuja club ama amekuja nini? You see, and you know, there's a time my employer told me that, Grace, you are so good, but if I didn't know you, if you ask me, a new employer can judge you from the day one and will not employ you. I think people have ever told you that even in an interview. And it is just because maybe I like wearing miniskirts. I have lost opportunities sometimes back because when somebody sees you, you tell that person, you know, I'm a project manager. I work with Action for Children Development Center. I'm good in what I do. I work with children. Then this person is looking at you like, hey, how are you working with children like this? So there is just that first impression you can always give someone, but it doesn't mean that this person cannot do the job. When you get to learn to know that person, you will find that there is a skill that probably you really need that this person can do well in. So these are the skills you are supposed to be sharpening as an employer. So that you know each and every employee, unajua huyu nikimtuma kwa ile organization hatatoboa. Lakini nikimtuma pale atatoboa apate hii job. Nikituma ule pale anaweza toboa lakini si sana. So you can rate your employees according to their performance. But as long as you're not giving them targets, you are not sorry. There's not that frequency of your relationship with your employee, then it becomes a problem. Then most of the time, kama employers wako are stealing from you is either there is low pay, maybe you're not giving other benefits, and I understand the economy is tough, but me, I'd rather you employ like 3 people who can do the job instead of employing 10, paying more, and you, in fact, at the end of the day, you will end up even paying more. So is either you have just 2 employees ama 3, you pay them well, in that mtu hata akikuja, mimi unajua kama unanilipa vizuri na nimekuja kazi, nikiwaste tu time najiuliza, hapana, leo nimefanya tu nothing na huyu mtu amejua niko kazi amenilipa. You know, those are the questions that really, if you are a person of integrity, you will ask yourself. So I always advise, if you are an employer, I think those are the sectors you should be looking at, and especially if it's a profit-making company. You know, like NGOs, things are different because we expect money from donors. So unapata ni pesa imedonatiwa, kuna hata kama mtu atakuuliza accountability, but there is no profit you are looking to get. You are just giving back to the society. So last but not least, mimi bado na I insist, I don't see why people should be measuring on going abroad. For me, I think we have all of us have a capacity, and we have something that we are good at. Me, I've seen people who have gone abroad, wakisema ati wanaenda kufanya hata journalism, wakifika huko ni kazi ya prostitution wanafanya. So and I think if you at all you want to go abroad, there are so many agencies Go and find out about those agencies. I think I've visited one, and they were categorical. We can find you a job, and in fact, in this job, you'll be doing series of exams and interviews. Now kama you are capable to do it. Then they give you a B1 visa. 2 of my friends have gone to US through that. You pay some money because there is nothing for free. We have also human trafficking. Human trafficking kwanza wanaparedingi as how watu wa kutafuta job. Na ukipata in every group hata ya WhatsApp yako, there is one person that is advertising, oh kuna job India. Tena wanakuambia they will take you abroad for free, ndege free. It is not for free. Hakuna mtu atakupatia kitu for free. So if at all you want to go and work abroad, which is also fine, but go there when you know what you want to do. And especially pale naonanga offers kama hizo sana ni LinkedIn. And I know so many youths awako hapo LinkedIn. LinkedIn inakuanga na so many. I'm not saying you will get all of them, but inakuanga na so many. You will come to learn about courses zenye zinakuwa offered, zenye zina sharpen to your skills on other things. So hapo pia kuna kuanga na hizo abroad jobs. You can apply, but what I know it involves money. Anytime you see anything for free, you have to question it. Inakuja wapi na imetoka wapi? But most importantly, know your worth. Mimi siwezi ya kufanyia kazi ya kuosha na najua niko na skills. Me, I will not do. Hata mkisema ati sijui choose, just do any job. No, I know my worth, and I know that I can be I can be good in whatever I'm doing. I can deliver properly. So why would I reduce myself to a cleaner? And I can do great things. I can even come up with like right now, I came up with my organization and I'm doing other things. So me, I feel like it is important for someone, ajue tu wati yake, ujue ata yo organization yangu, yes. It is not like paying much. Sometimes I even kosa rent. But I love it because that is what interests me. I've always wanted to be in NGO space. So that is where I am. So mimi nasema, just know what you are good at. That is very important. After knowing what you are good at, pressurize your skills based on what you are good at. And I'm loving this conversation, PP, because we ever had such kind of conversation. And you told me point blank, you did applied mathematics, but looking at it, you can be a good journalist. So it is just a matter of you knowing, where can I shine? What can I do better? If you're a cook, go ahead, cook and shine to the world. We have cooks who earn millions. So me, that is my view about the matter. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Olwande. Quick recovery, bwana. Home imekupeleka puta kweli kweli. I see Kodwor has raised her hand. I'm going to go to Kodwor, then Eli. You can request the microphone and talk to us. This is a home run with PP Monday edition. Sure.
Mimi nataka kusema hivi, kuna mwingine hapa alikuwa anajiita Jadhako, something like that. Anasema Gen Z ni lazy, wanaweza ingia job leo kesha wako. Si wote. Alafu kuna yani nadhani tu mwenye ajui chenye anataka, like ajui chenye anataka hapa kwa maisha. Si huyo ni mtu mwenye ajaikaa chini andike chenye anataka kwa maisha yake. Huyo ni mtu mwenye ajaikaa chini aone, aseme in future nitakuwa, nikifika kwa hii stage, ikifika hii month nitakuwa na hii kitu. Na si wote. Hiyo naye anatuharibia tu jina tu bure hapo. Alafu hii kitu yenye anasema mtu mwingine hapa amekuja anasema ati opportunity, kama opportunity imekuja ni nyakua hiyo opportunity. Sasa huyo anataka kusema hiyo opportunity yenye watu inaitwa demand, wenye Nigeria wanaweka walala na nyoka huko. Hiyo ni opportunity ili walipwe 500,000. Hiyo ni opportunity gani hiyo? Sasa kuna opportunities zingine zenye zinaweza kukulead kwa kifo. Uende huko ukufie huko, umepata opportunity ya kulipwa 500,000 ulale na nyoka. 500,000 sijui ufanye nini. Sasa hiyo asiseme opportunity, sema ukipata opportunity nzuri yenye ni genuine, si opportunity ya kulala kwenda kunini kukunya nini Wanigeria wakunye alafu ukule pupu. Hiyo naye si umejua hiyo ni opportunity mbaya. Hata kama unaenda kupata hii 500,000, hata kama ulilack job ukalak nini unateseka, hiyo naye si opportunity. Hiyo naye wewe ndio unajirisk maisha yako. Sasa huyo mwenye anasema opportunity hapana. Hata sisi hapa hatuna nini job, lakini nimejaribu, niko na kazi yangu. Naweza amka asubuhi ni attend job yangu nirudi kwa nyumba. Naweza amka asubuhi niende vitu zangu ni hustle vitu zangu na hiyo kazi yangu nyingine nirudi kwa nyumba. Lakini kuna agency za kupeleka watu pia. Mwingine amesema agency za kupeleka watu job majuu. Kuna huyo mwenye anaitwa Rich Kamunge. Rich Kamunge huwa anaibia watu hapa Kenya from January to December. Kutoka sijui lini, sijui ya gani hadi sahi. Na kuna chenye government anafanya. Halafu Rich Kamunge akishaibia watu, imagine huyo aogopi. Anasema Wakenya watamfanyia nini? Hata hakuna mahali utampeleka as anakuambia tena huna pesa. Na huyo mtu kama Rich Kamunge na bado ako kwa social media, hakuna chenye watu wanamfanya. Huyo government amnyang'anya hizo documents zote. Government akisikia mtu ako na agency ya kuibia wa Kenya, amuondoe. Because Rich Kamunge anapeleka mtu China. Wewe umepelekwa job China na kumbe yeye alikukatia nini? Visit visa ya 2 weeks. Wewe ukushtuka mnaambiwa murudi na wewe unajua mnaenda kupewa job. Wewe sasa huko ukifika ashaongea na mchinku moja. Mchinku amewahost. Mnongoja job hakuna, mchinku hawezi kukupea job kwa sababu usikii hiyo lugha yao. Mnasema mnaambiwa mtadipotiwa. Halafu Rich Kamunge kama Kenyans wanapiga kelele, anakuja ana brag kweli. Sasa agency watu watoke tu hata na hasira, waende waribu hiyo kitu na ofisi. Huo Rich Kamunge leo ako hapa, kesho ako sijui wapi, kesho kutu ako wapi. Sasa mtu anataka kwenda majuu, akuwe careful kuangalia agency yenye anataka kwenda nayo. Kwa sio utalipa hiyo mtu alipoteza 1 million. Na hata nashangaa mtu unalipa 1 million atunapeleka kwenda kufanya kazi ng'ambo na uko na 1 million. Kama unaweza afford 1 million, so fungua biashara ukae kwenu. Mtu anaweza afford kukuwa na 1 million alipe ya kwenda majuu, kwenda kutafuta job huko majuu, hata ya kwenda kunas. Mtu mwenye anawarara yenye ana msimamo, unaenda kunas hata manyoka huko na umelipa 1 million. So fungua job hiyo na 1 million hapo. Ufungue hata kitu kingine na 1 million ukae kwenu. Most of Wakenya, I think 5% of Kenyans are mad. Because unalipa 500,000 unaenda majuu. Badala uchukue 500,000 ufungue nayo biashara hapa Kenya ukae. Hiyo ndio chenye nilikuwa nataka kusema. Hii agency isharusha watu huku Kenya mpaka unachoka. Ama unaweza enda agency akupeleka wewe ni waiter. Ukishtuka uko Qatar, wewe ni mwosha vyombo. Na wewe hapa kwa ndege uliambiwa unaenda kufanya kazi ya waiter kwa one of the hotel. Kufika huko, wewe ni kadama, unaosha choo, surely. Sasa hizo agency pia wanaweza kukuambia hivi ujinga zote. Ukifika huko, wanakupeleka kwa job yenye si yako. Ni job yenye huko unataka. Na ni job yenye huko una expect inaweza nini. Sasa utakuwa unakataa, utakuwa unafanya contract ikiisha urudi.
Asante for that, Shah. Of course, and she's pointing out the immigration conundrum. Of course, unaweza jipata huko hivi nje na kwanza watu wanaopiga njia za mkato iko shida. Ila Likuyani, naona mkono iko juu. I'm gonna go to you. 22 minutes past 7.
Thank you, Pipi. Nitaongea Kiswahili kidogo nichanganye, manake ndio tunaelewana vizuri. The Star amesema some things that I partly agree with, and some of them on basis of principle I don't, because when tunaongelea kuhusu manufaa ya kazi, all of us here who are trying to work, the common goal is to be able to live life we desire. Whereas there are people who will be fortunate enough wapate kazi za ofisi, kuna wale ambao hawatafanikiwa kupata hizo kazi za ofisi. Na ndio sababu nilimuuliza Olwande, what did you do with this acquired? And I was happy she mentioned along the line she can actually be able to go to events, do some work in terms of catering, and get paid for that. And I think that's an important aspect of work. Work should be equivalent to fulfillment. And fulfillment comes in both your paycheck, of course, it's important, your ability to take care of your needs, and last but not least, you at a happy level. How happy do you feel with the job you have? Because you might have all the money because you live in a glass house, but you're not happy with the job you're doing, so it's retrogressive. Now, kuna hiyo msemo inaitwa watu kwenda kufanya kazi ngambo, pipi, tumesikia sana. Na I don't know how many of you have traveled abroad to work abroad or currently are tuned in and are working abroad. Pipi, when I traveled for the first time to look for a job abroad, I actually knew I was going to be one of the best film directors or somewhere in an international news house and whatever. So I spent 1 year looking for a job within the communication industry until I discovered what I needed was to earn a living and be able to be happy with what I earn. Long story short, Pipi, everything I studied in journalism school today is a secondary to what I do, because now it is my hobby. Journalism is my hobby. It doesn't feed me, it entertains me, okay? And the skills that I was able to get through that time in school, I've been able to carry them forth, and I'm able to use it as a means of transaction in the industry that I'm in. And by the way, I'm in the cleaning industry. And that in itself is a testament that we confuse worthy and value. What is the value of your job? Value is actually based on what other people perceive it to be. But at an individual capacity, you value a job because you know how much worth it is to you. And my challenge to all of us today, as much as we are addressing the issue of unemployment, let us put these things into perspective, especially if you're looking for a job. Let alone people who feel they have given up, and I totally understand where they're coming from. However, if you're looking and actively looking for a job, understand the value of your job to you, not to your neighbor, and then understand the worthy of that job in your personal capacity. Once you've been able to put those things on a scale, then you're able to pursue those goals that you have in terms of the employment field to fulfill your desires as an individual that is looking for a job. Nimeenda kando sana Pipi, but the point is, I'm discouraging us from assuming it is waste of time studying specific skills through going to university and graduating and then ending up in the other field, because that's not what you studied. The calamity is we confuse value and worth based on what you've studied because you did not have an objective. Most of us, the objective is, I am an architect as a student. I'm going to end up being an architect and design the next big building in the market. Probably you will consult in a different industry, but the knowledge and required will be able to help you. I got an interruption. I apologize. So, Pipi,
Olwande, Malia, and every other person that is on this call, it is not about what other people have valued your job to be. It's the worth of that job and the value you see in it that matters to you. I rather go to work, earn my money, and be fulfilled with what I've earned and provide for my family than assuming I am too qualified for a certain job because people think I'm worth that. Thank you.
Thank you, Bwana Eli, for that submission. I see Eve by Design has joined us. And of course, unajua saa zingine watu wanaendanga shule wanajifunga na kile ambacho wamesomea. Yeah, watu wanajifunga na kile ambacho wamesomea. They don't want to think outside the box. And some of us almost died of hunger. We almost went back to Hispania. Do you guys know where Hispania is, guys? Sirare. Saini ingekuwa kwa boda ya Kenya TZ bana na wife na mtoi. Yeah, Sirare, but there's a very few things you can do. I'd probably be a farmer. Ningekuwa nawaza tu mind yangu inaendaje. Yeah, but then look at me now. I'm here hosting Home Run with PP. If by design, seti niko mbali sana kimaisha either way.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Welcome to Home Run with PP.
All right. If by design, talk to us. How are you?
Hi, Pipi. How are you?
I am well. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
Lakini uko salama?
Niko salama, nashukuru. Labda nyinyi?
Mimi niko salama. Karibu.
I wish we could be doing this unemployment and employment nini every single week because there is a lot to unpack. There is very much a lot to unpack. I see I have an alumni from Maseno, Miss Olwande. You know the basis of that IT was just for the sake of putting a name to the IT part. Really, whatever we were doing in IT, I guarantee you, kujua tu computer ndio ilikuwa the major thing. Now, I've listened to your conversation about our skill based, and my thought process took me to a place whereby employers and employees, we have a disconnect, whereby let's say if an employer is looking for employees or new employees, there is usually a culture in a certain office or in an organization whereby a new employee will be indoctrinated into that culture and the workspace and how things evolve. That is part of, I think, the training. You usually don't come into an organization ukijua ati this is my job description. You will have to go through their training, how they work, learn the processes and all those kinds of stuff. Now, when employers actually post these jobs, yeah, I saw a TikTok on that someone did saying an employer got so very many got people for interviews, yeah, but ended up not picking any one of them because they didn't have the set of skills that he was looking for. Now, when you're advertising a job, ain't you advertising the skills that you need to accompany the certain job description that you have? Like, take for example, in interior design and architecture, usually when someone is looking for either a drafting person or someone in interior design, you're usually asked which softwares you're comfortable with. You might be asked which softwares you're comfortable with, but in the job description, they usually tell you that someone who is avid in Autodesk or SketchUp or any 3D, but usually whatever they have in the office is what you're asked. So if you come and they ask you if you're avid in these 3D softwares and you say no, then it's a valid need for them not choosing you. But if you're valid and they know, you might be picked for an extra skill. Let's say maybe you're good in rendering or something of the sort. You might be picked for that. But for me, there is usually a disconnect between people, because most of it I've gotten, we all have seen our job applications, our responsibilities and all these kinds of things. Someone says, okay, fine. The responsibilities don't even match whatever. There are some skills that overlap most of the time. Our intra and interpersonal skills usually overlap in our job markets. But inafikanga mahali sasa, those certain specific skills, when you look at the job description, you usually don't find them that you can say, okay, fine, this job, for me, with my qualifications, I cannot do. No. So that is why most of the time unapata people are flocking one job, watu wengi, because the specifics of that job specifically are not there. And yet when it comes to the interview phase, someone is looking for those specific jobs, and you wonder, okay, fine, now if this person was looking for those specific qualities, why didn't they advertise so that they can actually filter out na hata hiyo process ya kuangalia CVs? Why do you call people and then the specifics of the job itself isn't on the job description? Number 2, we have a very awkward employee culture in Kenya. It's something that really bugs my mind most of the time, and Ms. Olwanda actually touched on it, saying kuiba. Yes, your employer anaweza kakutreat vizuri, but when employee akiingianga kazi, there is a certain attitude that employees usually have with certain businesses. Here is why. You might get a good job, it's paying well, but you see things in the office that, okay, fine, the boss is free, you're being bought lunch sometimes and all these kinds of stuff. But some people usually act entitled in that if they're free stuff, okay, fine. The free stuff in the office, you can easily take home if you want. But you know very well that things in the office are not supposed to be taken at home, because there are things that are supposed to be used in the office. They're supposed to make your work and your time in the office easy and almost fun. You enjoy that space. But most of the time, people still, yes, because they're not being paid enough. That is one of the reasons. But there is also an attitude problem with people that are employed. Mtu ataona biashara yako is going well, anze kusema, okay, si inaenda vizuri, she is bringing in supplies every other single week, so I am entitled to go uza these ones outside because this guy's business it's booming. That's sort of entitlement issue. That's what I wanted to bring out from what I've heard. And also Eli talked about the job. Ametoka tu kuisema sahi, sijui kwa nini nasahau. Doing something for you. Now, I want to flip it a little bit. You can look for a job that you know very well serves you, fulfills you, but at the end of the day, is that job solving a problem within the society? Because we can't escape this society bit that we live in. Are we problem solving for the society at the end of the day? Is that work giving value to the society where our children are going to live, the society where we are going to live at the end of the day, the society where our parents lived? Are we changing the dynamics of this society, or are we Are we just doing work for the sake of work? That is why never limit yourself. You can be good at so very many things. I'll take for example Olwande over here. She's good at cooking. I'm not limiting myself at that stage. I can cook, yes. I can do so. If it's something I'm able to do, then I would rather do it. But at the end of the day, with all this, with all that is happening in our societies, you tend to stick to one. And there's a saying, I can't complete it. A jack of all trades is someone but a master of none. So there's a whole saying with that. We usually take it out of context that someone who has so very many skills can't master all those skills. But at the end of the day, most people, usually in this Kenyan society currently, and our education, we are forced to master a lot of stuff. I would easily want to do coding, me personally, but I'm thinking, no, that's not some place where I want to go, because yes, I am able to do coding, and there are very definite organizations that give out these trainings for coders. But at the end of the day, I'm asking myself, why would I do coding? Yeah, be skilled in coding, do a little bit of design work, do a little bit of handy fundy work, do all these kinds of skills. It also adds to the pressure of, that's why people usually specialize. But don't feel discouraged. Don't feel discouraged. Currently, as for me, I'm unemployed. I'm an alumni of Maseno who has done interior design. But in this field, we usually, the first statement that one of our head of department told us was, and I carry it with me most of the days of this life, that when you're coming to do interior design, you're not coming to do interior design specifically. You're coming in so that you can problem solve other people's problems. So I take it as part of being able to take in a problem, and if I can solve it and make this other person's life easier, then I'm good. So if you let's say you have a nail that needs to be drilled in, or a screw that needs to be drilled in, and I have the tools, I'll easily do it. I can paint, I can do all these things, because I've placed it upon myself by I'm someone who can easily solve a problem when it appears, so that someone else's issues doesn't affect his day. It's the same as customer service also. When someone comes and asks you in a company and you're a part of customer service, you're supposed to solve that person's problems. You're not supposed to add into the person's I'm going too technical a bit, but those were my viewpoints for this conversation. I hope we continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Eve, for that submission. I see Malia Davis, I'm going to but I'm going to listen to the new speaker here. 19 minutes to the top of the hour.
Ladies and gentlemen, join Home Run with PP every weekday from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. only on X Spaces. Home Run with PP, the home of your most valuable social conversations.
Yes, of course. We also have a new YouTube story that is going on. There's a new YouTube story on HRWP. Make sure you check it out. So, ambia watu when you are graduates in the next 7 months, they will be begging to work in my cleaning company, na ni kazi ya watu wa kawaida. Yeah. So I want to hear one submission from Eli, then I'll go to Ayo. Ayo. I mean, I'm vibaya. Ayo. You. Ladies and gentlemen, ni mwisho wa mwezi, ingieni pale hivi kwenye tip ja wadau, ama kutoka tarehe 6 nitakuwa na host spaces kutoka kwa jirani hapo hivi, kwa sababu baada hii Januari imekuwa ngumu wadau. Ingieni pale hivi kwa tip ja na waelewa. Eli.
Yeah, Pipita, I'll make it very fast, and I apologize to the rest of the speaker minute. Now, I want to say this as I bow out, that do not be discouraged with everything we are sharing, because everyone might be sharing their own experiences. But every time I walk into a room, Eve was asking, what solution are you creating or proposing? When you guys are driving through Nairobi, admiring the skyscrapers and to those beautiful Airbnbs and possibly hotels for your holidays, you are seeing a good time, inshallah. I see money. I see money because every time I look at a window, ninaona hii inaweza kuwa elfu fulani. So it's actually me who was suggesting in the next 7 months, I'll be asking people who are graduates to come and work for my company, because only graduates that understand technical engineering in terms of architect and be able to work in my company. So if you are that graduate, please keep my contact, because you will need it in the next 7 months. Na sio 6 months kama za Ruto. Thank you.
Haya, hata mi bana naona ila mambo ikikuwa ngumu, naona hizo madirisha vya unasema, si kuna insurance. Ni heri kukufa kazini kuliko kukufa maskini. Kuna insurance.
Rule number 1, we always train our workers to work with security, and therefore we cannot allow people to die at work.
So mnasikia. So guys, I know that is the only fear, especially, okay, I fear height. Myself, I can't even live beyond first floor. So you get, so watu wenye wanataka kufanya kazi ya but wacha niwaambie kweli hivi, tukwe tu honest. Despite us yapping here and I'm gonna speak as the one of the people who decided to self-employ or sleep hungry. I'll be honest guys. Kama ningekuwa naendelea kutafuta kazi, probably mpaka sasa hivi bado ningekuwa na ngoja. I have a very weird story. My sister graduated in 2018. This is 2025. 7 years on ndo amepata kazi yake ya kwanza ya contract, and it's not even a full year. So you can imagine how bad it is. Sasa hata mimi ningerudi ushago pale hivi nyumbani nikingojea degree yangu ya math. Unajua nikiambia hii degree ilikuwa inatisha watu kwa ushago, nilikuwa nafikiria they were joking, but it was right. Ayo, how are you doing?
I'm okay. Kwanza confirm kwa
nakupata loud and clear bro.
Very nice. Unajua tuko kwa society nyingine hapa very interesting, and I'll tell you for a fact, we have a society of learned graduates but broke. They are very learned, yeah, very learned but broke. Why? Because the education system has not taught us how to survive in this country or in the kind of societal setup that we find ourselves in. Unapata mse amesoma sana, kuna master's degree, karibu anaenda kufanya PhD and all that, and we see those PhD holders na hawana job because society the education setup imetufunza go to school, get those degrees, get those good grades, and go get employed. And then we are not taught how to create that employment. And I'm speaking this from a point of knowledge and understanding that unapata mse alimaliza shule 10 years ago, but amekuwa akiapply job, amekuwa akiandika applications, but anakuwa rejection emails ndio zimejaza kwa email yake, right? So I feel we've gotten to a point whereby hatujui ku create employment, hatujui ku use skill set zetu to create employment. We just depend on using our skill set to make other people rich, whereby we need to get to a point. Unachikizi kama hizo cleaning jobs, kama hizi cooking jobs, you can open a hotel or you can just identify. We need to reach a point where we identify what the market needs. What does the job market need? What does our society need? Then we tap onto that. Unaweza pata msee amesoma engineering lakini anafanya biashara na ana succeed instead of waiting to be employed as an engineer na kuna makazi. Unaget? But then again unapata just a moment. Wewe naenda break narudi ama talk narudi.
Okay, just a minute. Let's give him a minute. Let's take a jingle.
This is Home Run with PP.
Remember to go to YouTube and check out our latest long story. Yeah, the one and only Austin Shanky. As you're getting into more videos, probably kwenye YouTube. Yeah, it's something that you need to check it out. Ayo, nipatie by emoji kama you're going to be coming after this one, and get 100 if you're going to be coming after Japonji, so that I can have continuity. Okay, cool. Japonji, how are you doing?
Hey, PP, how you doing, man?
I am well.
Minutes.
Na wewe je kwaje?
I'm good. I don't want to. I'm good. I'm trying. I would like to acknowledge the presence of Malia, Ayo, Gloria, all these speakers on one day. Andy, how you doing? And Izani, and of course you, PP. And I love this topic. This topic is dear to my heart: youth unemployment. Okay. If I continue.
Yes, continue, Japunji. I can hear you.
Okay. Well, that's because someone was trying to call me and I refused the call. So that's why I was asking. Okay, so this is how I want to start. You see, PP, someone just spoke about your value, value that you are adding to the company, and your worth, the worth that you think you have, like you deserve. So this is what I want to say. If you try to do some jobs in Kenya, the amount of salary that you will get is very low, So, but if you move to other countries with the same skill set, you will be earning more. I'm talking about specific skill sets, So I'll speak for myself and people who do people who are hands-on, like my profession. First of all, I'm a personal trainer, fitness, consultant and all that, I do sports management, all that. So as I've said before in this space, PP, there's a very big disconnect between the courses that we do at the campus and the job market, And I know this is a tough call, but sometimes we have to blame the policies that the government make. Because most campus, in Kenya, most universities, they just want to break even. They want to make profit, So they don't care if you get job out there. They just want you to get your degree and move out, You are like, you are just a source of revenue, you are just a specimen, They don't care about you getting job out there, So the one thing I always advise people for the last few years, 10 years or so, I always ask them, you are going to do pure maths, like UPP, for example. You are going to campus to do maths, pure maths. You're going to do BCom. That's just a name. That's a course. What's the career market? What are the data? What are the statistics? Like you see, at least you need to have that in mind. Like you're going to do Bachelor of Arts Education. Maybe I just posted the payslip of a teacher, and you saw a teacher who is earning almost his basic salary is 40K, but he goes home with 13,000. You saw that. I just shared on this Jumbotron. So my point is, as much as we want to go to campus and the thrive of it, like we just want to show that we are graduates, we have to. Some of us did not have that, mentors, someone to take you through the courses and what you become after the course, So if we can actually help our brothers, sisters, our sons or whoever, to analyze the job market, and also try to do courses that are universal, You can get the same job in Tanzania, in Uganda, in Europe, something that you are in a university. So that universal aspect has to dig in. For example, if you're doing nursing in Kenya, you have to figure out how many countries can you actually work with the same qualifications. because what I know from experience is that nursing in Kenya, you cannot practice the same course, for example, in Europe, in US, in the Middle East. You have to do some other courses with some skill set with the same course, just like a doctor. So I'm just saying, like you need something that can, you can be comfortable moving out of the country and doing it, Having said that, there's someone who was talking about the youth, the Gen Z being, lazy. No, I will not call it lazy. People, when I was still second year, someone used to complain in the neighborhood saying that he's looking for a job, they want 3 years experience, and he's just finished campus. You experience at all happy. And that was the talk of town. Then this thing hit me because I went and asked my professor, like, what would you do, like finishing this course and you don't have experience, and most employees that's for experience. Then he said, no, don't worry about that. The internship you can start at the 3rd year will count as experience. Just go for unpaid internship. And that thing has saved a lot of people and friends. So you start your unpaid internship when you are on the 3rd year. You can take evening courses, or you can take less units at the campus. And then you start doing like voluntary work and paid work. But what the company, maybe they don't know, maybe they can give you fare or food or whatever, but you are getting that in-job experience, internship. And actually you can use that job experience when applying for job as soon as you finish campus. So I find that to be one of the best solutions ever. So that ukimaliza to campus, you don't start tamarking with 0 experience. It's very, very difficult for someone to hire you based on that experience, And also the other thing I wanted to talk about is, the motivation, like whatever motivates you to do a certain job with a skill set, you have to differentiate that with the problem that you are solving. Like I always ask myself, someone comes and asks for a job, then the first thing I always ask them is, okay, what exactly will you be solving? What problems are you solving, Okay, you want the work, you want the job. Job is just a title, but what are you solving? You see, you earn by helping people, by solving their problems. That's why I love my job so much. I'm obsessed because when I help someone become a better person, when I help someone lose fat, become fit, be able to walk through physical therapy, when I'm able to help someone get rid of things like diabetes, obesity, So, see, then payment just becomes like, like the, how you call it? It's not like a salary. It's just the reward, This is the reward you get for helping people. And you just need to identify that problem, What problem is there? What are people suffering for? What do people want, to be solved? Whenever someone brings anything, I always look at it as an opportunity. I just turn your problem into an opportunity, and after solving, I get my reward. And that's how it rolls here, So, Pipi, as before, I just love listening more. I'll be listening, and great conversation, guys. Keep going, bless.
Asante sana Japonji. Are you back? Ni kama bado Ayo hajafika. Ayo.
Acha nimalize.
Maliza ndugu.
Nipate dakika 5.
Sawa. While Ayo is finishing up with work, let's get to hear from Frederick before we go to Malia. Frederick, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm very much fine. What about you guys?
We are well. Talk to us.
I think based on youth unemployment, I think sometimes we need to be creative. Sometimes talent can create job opportunities. When you play football or any other activity might create any employment to you. Because I am a football coach. As I started since I was in Form 1 2012, and now here it has already created many employments for me. I coach academies. Nowadays, even I take opportunity to officiate, and now I am a referee from Football Kenya Federation, because through talent and the passion that I took it seriously when I was in primary school, it has already created opportunity for me so that I can afford to feed my family, my child, and pay school fees. That's all for today. Talent and being creative, it will create job opportunities to you guys.
Thank you, Fred, for that submission, quick and to the point. Malia Davis, your hand is up. Talk to us.
Thank you, Pipita. So I just wanted to talk about some new ways which have been there or which have come up to link people with, I won't say jobs, but you are linked with clients. So, for example, if it's delivery, if it's cleaning, if it's different, there are different categories. So there are some websites which, first of all, you can advertise for free. So like someone like what is his name? General China. There he's a nurse, so he can advertise on those platforms. Then when the client goes to look at that, because some of these sites, they are advertised as they are just linkage. So they link you with someone who needs your services. So for example, there's a time when I was doing some studies, and I needed like delivery of some documents, and I was finding it hard because the place which I wanted the documents to go was a bit out of my way. And now I was finding it hard to leave job. I started going all the way there and all that. So I just went to Pigiami, and I looked, and I found an advert there of someone who does delivery. So he became my delivery guy. He used to take for me the documents anytime when I want. I call him, he just comes and I pay him, and he takes the document and gets it signed. But on the Nini book, delivery book. And then there's a time I wanted someone to do for me data analysis. I tried someone who had worked with my relative, but it was problematic. I think he was too busy or something. So I still went back to that Pigiami and I looked for a data analyst, and he did for me the job, and very well. So I can tell guys that why don't you advertise even in Gigi, even in Pigiami? I usually find it to be really good. I've always gotten good services from there, but they are also specific. It's only that I can't remember them off the top of my head, but there are specific websites which have different categories. So what happens is you advertise there, and I believe it's free. So they link services with clients. So if you're someone who maybe you can paint, so I had someone saying she can paint. So if you can paint, you just put there that you can paint, and then now the people who are looking for someone to paint, you'd be surprised by how many people don't know someone who can paint. Like usually they might have to talk to someone else to get it. But those linkages, websites, and also there are some, okay, I like those ones because I don't know if there's a commission which the client pays. The way I understood it, it's like there isn't for that website, but there are also others who take a certain percentage. So they have kind of like the way we have the app for Bolt or Uber Eats. So they get you the person who is near to you. So like if you want your house, you want cleaning, and you're in a certain place, the people who've advertised for the service around you are the ones who are going to be get that. So I'm just saying that let's not look at because right now with the current job market, fine, it's good to be applying for jobs, but again, think outside that job where you're looking for someone to give you the job. Look at where you have a service that you can deliver, that you can offer, and you can offer, and so you link with your client like that. So you go and do it's just short term. Once you're through with that, but the thing is, I think it is it's a good way, at least because like that delivery guy, that time I even asked him, because that like that delivery guy, there's no costs. There's no cost, because the only cost is for him. Of course, he'll add for me the fare or wherever he'll go. So he'll add for me the fare there and everything. So in a day he could make at least, I think, 1,000, which is not bad, without any taxes. And he was maisha inasukuma. So I would like, it's only that I don't know the exact, maybe I'll look, some of these things, they come when you're not thinking about, so you don't get the name. But I also know that there are people who have, like what I've told you, they're linking services to the persons who are nearest, like how Bolt does. It gives you the cab which is near you. So they have different, I saw one which was having a lot of services, like so many categories. So like if it's general China, you can put there that you're a registered nurse. If someone has an ill person who they'd like to be nursed, they'll just get you from there. Okay, so I think that is a better way, and it doesn't cost you. Doesn't cost you anything. And like if you're applying for jobs, you have to go to the maybe whatever, write the CV and all these ABCD, so many things that you need money. So that one there is no capital. You can do it so long as you have data. You can, and your smartphone, you can be able to check in. You just post. So when you post, of course, once the person who needs the services, and there I've seen, like for example, that running errands for people, because in Nairobi people are so busy. That business of just running errands for someone, taking documents, even going to their post office and take their mail. Some people are incapacitated, and sometimes they don't have even someone to go and check for me my mail. So I think like that one for errands, and you see that one, anyone can do that. Anybody can do that. So of importance is, and it's not a full-time job, so it's not saying that now you've deviated from your career or what you're passionate about. It's just something which can help you in terms of at least to have some funds, so that you can at least not be just idle and you're broke. So unfortunately I can't remember the whatevers, but they're there. I think if you just Google, you may be able to find, because I saw like that one, which was the one I'm telling you, was like a website. It has a lot. It has painters, it has plumber, it has electricians, it has all kinds of cleaners, all kinds of tutors. Like now, Peter, I told you should think of advertising, because a lot of people have problem with mathematics. If you can be able to tutor them, it can be lucrative. So think about that, because as Japonji has said, that it's about problem solving. And to be very honest, there are so many problems. Let me tell you, there are so many problems that need to be solved. So many problems, so many. So just think about which problem can you be able to solve. Some things even don't need much skills as such, but yeah, you can try those options. I believe, at least I can say, like on Pigiami, I've used it twice and I got good.
Is it me or we have lost Malia on the mic? Can you hear me, Eve? I don't know if it's me or it's We have lost Malia on the mic. Yeah.
Pia sizimsikia.
At least nimekusikia bwana. So anyway, umemaliza shughuli ayo ama niende kwenye comment section?
Niko hapa, niko town.
Sasa tupatie uhondo. Na sasa nafurahia sana unasikia ukisema uko kazi bana.
Mbona?
Unajua bana, watu wengi wanaongea hapa hivi wanasema niko jobless. Unaona, sasa ni vizuri tukisikia mmoja wetu akisema ako job bwana. Isikuwe kongamano la jobless.
We don't take it for granted. So what I was saying here is that, and I think I've also fallen short of this same thing that I'm going to talk about. We were taught to just stick to what we studied, and that's why most of us probably are. And then when we got to graduate, we found that our fields of study were swamped, and there was no space for whatever role we are looking for, or whenever you apply, unaambiwa maybe bado hujafikisha your cutoff yenye unatafuta. So unapata it becomes a bit difficult to get what we want. And personally, I think kuna time I lost my job, and I took a year still looking for a job, and I think I took 6 months off from not looking for work. Then when I started, it was interviews after interviews after interviews after interviews, and saizo unasema I know my worth and this is how much I want to earn, but then again unapata the industry really wants you but they can't afford you. So those are also some of the challenges. Now una get if they want you, they can't afford you, and probably now they'll reject you and not tell you, unajua at least kulipa watakutumia tu rejection email that you did not meet our whatever. I remember there was some time where I was interviewed and they said that I was overqualified. So those are some of the tactics of that employers nowadays use to reject you. Ndio usisikie vibaya, but still hajakupatia job, so it doesn't change the fact that bado hauna kazi. But then again, what I was just trying to learn later on is that as much as you might be employed, and this is for the employed and the unemployed, as much as you might be employed, don't just depend on your pay slip, because at the end of the day, hiyo job inaweza isha anytime. Na saa zingine hiyo whatever, that sucking note, that firing letter, haikujangi na notification, unashtukianga tu imefika. So it's important to always prepare for the rainy days, knowing that job inaweza isha anytime, and my employer doesn't owe me anything. At the end of the day, they can choose whom to employ, whom to fire at whatever time, and life has to go on regardless. So it's important, and these are the lessons I learned while I was at that season, that always prepare for rainy days. As much as you have this job, hii job inakupatia chance ya kutafuta job ingine. Tafutanga kama wewe ni msafu kwa job, tafutanga hiyo job ingine kama uko kwa hii job ingine. Usingoje kufutwa kwanza ndio utafute job ingine. You understand? So, and then again, as much as you get in your earnings, also save and also invest for rainy days. Probably it could be a biashara, it could be whatever. We are not all blessed with that mind of business. I would say that for a fact, and I know si wambiwa anzisha biashara, but biashara gani? Unaielewa hata hiyo biashara vizuri? Are you ready to incur the losses? And are you ready to take care of the profits that will be made? Are you ready to to have that wisdom to run that business in equal measure? So I think saa zingine siweke watu hiyo pressure ya biashara, but then at the end of the day, si kila mtu is meant for biashara. Some of us are meant for something else. We just need to discover it. So I think we are blessed in different ways, na tunafaa ku accept that fact, and the moment we accept that fact, tutacha easy pressures are unnecessary. And then again, saizi kuna makazi. As much as the government is saying that we are creating job opportunities for the youth and all that, hakuna job opportunities as on create. It is us to create those openings for ourselves. If you went, for example, if you studied journalism, right now there's so many opportunities for journalism through self-employment. And it took me, imagine, I spent almost 10 years in the media industry, and I never believed in myself that I could ever stand probably in front of a camera, because I was almost all the times behind the scenes. It took me to get fired, to lose my job. Kusema, enyewe, I've made a lot of talents on air. Why don't I try and be one of the talents? And through that, I took a step of faith and I killed all that. These are my ideas that, oh, you can't. This is not for me until it is for you. You understand? So as I conclude, I'd say that sometimes it takes that step of faith. Hiyo kitu yenye unaogopa kufanya, just do it. The world will adjust. Because if you wait for the world to adjust for you you have to make it adjust through you creating those opportunities and making it better for your own self, if that makes sense. And I hope it makes sense at the end of the day. So be it in whatever field, hata kama wewe ni daktari, build a pharmacy, start a pharmacy, and through that ufungue clinic yako. That's self-employment, So after all is said and done, I hope we learn to cope life after unemployment, or to cope with unemployment through creating opportunities for ourselves in whatever way possible. Thanks, Pipi.
Thank you for that, Ayo. You have brought up a very important thing, that preparing for a rainy day, because one of the things that I've learned is that you can be jobless at any time, and there is nobody who is immune. Kama ma MP wanakuwa jobless na ma cabinet secretaries, what about us? Eve, I know maybe she has something to say. I'm gonna go to Eve, then listen to Aguko Harrington. You're listening to Home Run with Pipi. Eve.
Yeah, thank you. I think I needed to hear that your employer doesn't owe you a single thing. If he decides to go AWOL on you, it shouldn't matter, because at the end of the day, they're the owners of their own business. Sometimes you might think you're close to your employers most of the time. You have a good rapport, but you never know. Some other people might be speaking into their ears about you, and out of nowhere you don't have a job, or you don't have that work that you used to depend on. Ask me. I've learned that this year. And I wanted to add on to whatever you said about your skills and going out and doing them. And I wanted to add another point of view. In that we are always doing these discussions, and how most of us usually come on here and talk. I think we have a culture whereby we usually don't advertise ourselves and what we are good at most of the time. We expect people to discover us and get to learn more about us, but we don't advertise ourselves and what we are good at. And then there's a certain culture also I've seen, na historia ya watu kwa majuu na kushtakiwa mambo na ice. Wakenya hatupendi kusaidiana. There's no culture whereby utasikia job mahali and then you say, oh, I have a friend who's so good at this and this and this and this. Can I connect you? Because most of the jobs that you hear that are being posted, most of them sometimes utasikia vizuri, they're already taken. I think our parents learned this thing kitambo. Unaona? So they go there, they look for jobs, they ask, okay, fine, do you need someone of this kind of thing? Biashara inasemekana inafanywa Java ama any other coffee place. And yes, we meet up, we discuss all these things. We say, okay, fine, I need someone who is this and this, and then we connect. Sometimes it doesn't go far. Ama mtu anasema, we can't mix friendship with business. But at the end of the day, those relationships are what builds industries. Those relationships are what connects you to great talent, because you might say, okay, fine, we are using social media. Social media is usually a discovery of talents, of talents out here. But friendships, that in-person friendship usually is the main discovery of talent, because it builds on, okay, fine, I know Pipita, and Pipita is good in math, so I can connect her to someone who is doing tutoring and needs a math tutor. So the trust factor is already established, because we are so into, oh, don't trust people online and all these kinds of stuff. And so we need to also build that culture whereby we connect people to industries where they can thrive, not where you think they will, they watapata kazi and then they'll be settled and then you forget about it. No, you settle someone where you know very well they will thrive. When you come and reconnect with them 2, 3, 4 years later, you say, okay, fine, you connect me to this. Do you have someone of this kind of, it now continues. You get that, okay, you're building a certain community of businesses and thriving stuff, and your businesses will thrive. It's like creating a rapport with your clients and customers, because at the end of the day, you're building your society and you're building your business and you're building talent and you're building skills. So that's what I wanted to add up on, that tuone venye, yes, we get into these spaces, we talk, we connect, but are we connecting whereby you know very well this other person is going to thrive, this other person is going to help build a business, this other person is going to help build something that is going to take us through decades and decades of good understanding and good relationships. That's what I wanted to add.
Okay, thank you so much, Eve, for that. Aguko Hannington, how are you doing?
Yes, I'm good, Pipi. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, bro.
Oh, from my end, the Nini is very, the sound is very low. I don't know what's the problem, but I'll just speak. What I wanted to say is I'm seeing a topic here. Youth unemployment is a ticking time bomb. And indeed, it is a ticking time bomb, because the job loss rate is very high as we are speaking, because many companies are laying off. That is one. And when people are laid off, automatically they are coming outside here. So as youths, we just need to learn other skills, just the way other speakers have spoken. I came in late, but I had the likes of Malia and Eve and others. They were speaking very well concerning how we can create other opportunities for us to thrive. Even Ayo has given a very good point on the employment. It is not the best place for you. When you are there, kindly you do a savings here and there as you look for a better thing that you can do. Kama mimi, I think Pipita, I came to know you after losing a job, and that is when I started actually attending most of the spaces, when it was my lowest time. And being somebody who is a bit of talkative, I was speaking to friends and they were giving me guidance on how to survive. And actually that is how I grew. Until today, I'm meeting different kind of people with different backgrounds, different history. And still we are changing ideas. As at now, all the way from vile nilianza boda boda, I do deliveries in town. Vile nilianza boda boda, and up to now, we are venturing in something else. Tunakodesha shamba somewhere, and we do farming. So that is also a way of getting income. It is not a must that you concentrate on one thing or you concentrate on your employment. When you are in employment, you can also look for other ideas that you can grow yourself with. It is not a must that you leave it, you go and venture into that. No, you can just do a double skill. You do something, you put people to do for you something like farming or a business somewhere, as you also do the employment so that you can double earn. You earn from both ends. And I'll encourage youth, mostly when hawana kitu ya kufanya, just look for ideas like mkiwa na mabeshte, mkikuwa kwa group ya mabeshte, msikuwe na ideas mbaya kama kuenda kuiba, but how you can grow a 1 shilling to become 2. Only that is what can help you. When you grow a shilling to become 2, the next day you will think of growing that 2 to become 5. And that is how you will grow. And even the way pia utapata ka opportunity ya kuemploy others. Because from all the way from last year, I managed to get 2 bikes. Now I have another person mwenye nimepea another bike anaendesha. So in a span of only 1 year and some months and 2 months. And I think that one is a very good move because ule pia hakuwa na yeye pia alifukuzwa mahali penye alikuwa anafanya kazi na ako na familia na watoto, so atajisaidia aje. So I just saw it like, let me give him this and then I look for another one. And even ndo chenye tutasaidika badala ya kukaa ukiongoja, maana uko na umesomea kitu, hiyo kitu yenye umesomea ndio unaongoja ikuje itokelezee ufanye, au utaipata unless ujitengenezee yako on the same field. Thank you Pipita. Ndio nimeingia kwa nyumba, nimepanda stairs na hema sana.
Napenda sana, ni kama hapa hivi tunakutananga meeting ya watu wenye walipoteza kazi na, lakini the good thing about longevity of home run in the PP is ninawaona mkikuwa mko jobless mpaka mnafika mnapata kazi. Sasa tena nyinyi ndio tena mnakuwa greatest sponsors wa show bwana. Ina slap bwana. Yes, so yeah, I'm glad to hear that story Aguko. Sio kila saa watu tu wanaingia hapa wana complain hii serikali. Yeah. Also, there's a comment here that I wanted us to. It's from Mushiri wa Mushiri. It says blitzpuzzle.com coming soon. Register today. I think alikuwa naongea hiyo time yenye wanaongelea mambo ya delivery, and I think Aguko you can also check it out na wale wa delivery, because I also know there's also another guy wa boda boda na tusikizanga hapa a lot of times. So anyway, thank you so much for always finding time to listen to us and talk to us hapa hivi ndani ya Home Run with PP. It's always an honor to listen to you, and of course if you like what you're doing, there is always that tip line 0721948229 where you drop in your support. Of course, today we are talking about unemployment, and of course the statistics is quite worrying. 3.5 million Kenyans stand unemployed as per the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, and the number could be higher than that. One thing that was so disappointing was the fact that the Court chair, Mr. Atuoli himself, Brother Atuoli, he came out to say that he does not believe the Federation of Kenya Employers when they say that the employees are being named redundant, and he says that not 50 companies left, because if 50 companies left, he would have known. That is his argument. I don't know what you guys feel about that, but for me, I feel like that is mocking the people of Kenya as a whole, because the truth of the matter is that is a lot. Yeah, nimeangalia payslip ya mtu hapa hivi ana 40,000 over the weekend. The timeline was going on about salary 100,000. Believe it or not, many graduates don't even start from 100,000 shillings in Kenya right now. Nilikuwa na apply my entry jobs, naona starting salary 35,000. You know, a graduate with masters 38-50,000. You're like, what the hell is going on here? Teachers are getting paid 17,000 for JSS. Yeah. So pia kuna watu wenye pia wako employed, but it's more of an employment, because kama kuna yenye Japunji ameshare hapa hivi. And of course there is also that one thing that I would like to maybe talk about maybe in the future, the issue of loans. That if you take loans without a plan, they are going to drown you. Because kama hii payslip yenye Japunji ameshare hapa hivi, basic salary 40,000, rental allowance 9,000, commuter allowance 5,000. inakuja a total of 65,000, but akikatwa loans za banks 3 anabaki na 13,000 net. So I think also the amount of money that you also take in loans and how you use it is very important as well. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in to Home Run with PP. I see the hands of Olwande and Eve on the air. Olwande, what's up?
Thank you, Pipi. I was cutting up my hand and somebody called na juu sasa ilikuwa pesa, lazima ningeattend to pesa kwanza. But I really wanted to touch on very prominent issues that Eve talked about. Mimi huwa nasema when you're applying for a job, na tuache tu hii mentality lazima tu apply for a job. Hata pia personally I was like you PP. Me personally vile nilikuwa nimemaliza tu university naye nilikuwa na job already, nilikuwa na nikoja British Army. So I worked there from 2020. Me I graduated in 2019. Lakini what I came to learn in the places sasa is in the job sector, and I want to talk about my experience. So pale British Army, kama vile mi sasa nilikuwa kwa jikoni. And you know that was not a profit-making organization. So food was always there because most of the time we used to feed the military camp from the UK. And also they were eating international foods. So you might get Monday, they are eating Caribbean, Tuesday, they are British foods, on Wednesday, so like that. So ulikuwa unapata kuna supply, kuna maziwa, kuna nyama, anything that you want to eat. It used to exist in that kitchen. You'll eat the way you want. Hata kama unataka kula ndo mzima hiyo siku, it was free of charge, you could eat it. But the condition was usitoke na hiyo chakula nje ya gate. In fact, wakati tunaingia kazi, of course, kila kampuni inakuanga na laws, rules zenye zimeset for that organization. So even British Army used to have something called TACOS on the rules and regulations of the employee where you were to sign. So one clause ya kufukuzwa kazi ama ya kupewa dismissal, number 1 was gross misconduct. So gross misconduct was umeiba nini, ya kwanga tana issue, hiyo we unaenda home direct. So when I got in na the first day nikafanya chapa job, of course unajua unaingianga hapo uko na hanga ndo unaona vitu mpya, unaona pizza, unaona bacon, unajua hizo food zenye kulangi nyumbani. So normally the way any human being will react, hata mimi hiyo siku nilikula karibu hata nikufe, niokotwe hapo kwa jikoni. But sikutoka na kitu yoyote because you know I had read the rules. But sasa tukienda nyumbani, I will see people, watu wamebeba, watu wako na nyama, mwingine amebeba a whole paja ya mbuzi mzima, mwingine sijui amebeba mafuta, because anything you want ingekuwa hapo kwa jikoni. So wakati tunaenda home, mimi nauliza sisi vitu watu wamekatazwa kutoka nayo nje. Then mtu akanijibu wewe ingia wewe usome system. So what does this man believe that tunafaa kuchukua, unaweza toka nayo lakini ukue mjanja. That is the meaning that man was trying to tell me. So with the British Army nilikuwa nimewambia I was under unskilled. So unskilled walikuwa wanalipwa approximately, the highest tulikuwa unaweza pata ni 45,000. So tulikuwa tunaingia into job groups na ilikuwa siju KZ something. So mimi yangu ilikuwa imeanza na around 38. So 38 ukitoa hizo taxes zote upate maybe utatoka na 30,000 or something. So again, that leaves you back to the situation. Now, hii kazi, I could find myself, we were working for 9 full hours. And it's kitchen. There is nowhere you are sitting. There is nowhere, it is work. So you will work overtime and you will be paid overtime. And overtime was compulsory because sometimes you used to take longer hours. So the main challenge in this job is like, first, hauna time yako ya kufanya vitu zako. For example, me, I could work online, but I could not get time yangu ya kufanya kazi zangu online, be it academic writing or other things. So my entire life, I'm depending on this job. Looking at this 30,000, nikilipa tu rent, nilipe maybe maid, nilipe, hii pesa imeisha, to be honest. So what was I speaking of again? Unajipata pia we umeanza kubeba hii nyama. You said it is your intention. No. But now the budgets that you have, and somebody talked about loans. Hata huko watu walikuwa wanachukua loans. Unapata mtu amechukua loan mpaka yeye anabaki na salary ya 8,000. Na si hata maneno ati ni kupenda kwake. Maybe you have kids, you have school fees to pay, you need your own personal development. Na unajua development kama hizo, and especially zenye unachukua loan, results wazangi kuona saa hiyo. For example, ilichukua loan kujenga, which I always believe is a very bad idea. At the end of it, by the time unamaliza kulipa hii loan, unakuwa unakatwa mpaka hakuna vile una survive. Loan inakuwa mzuri tu kama unafanya biashara. So that leaves you to this problem, theft at work. So looking at it, and one day I asked my employer, nikamwambia, hii pesa na isi mnatulipa kidogo sana with this economy. And they were arguing like, how much is a cleaner paid in Kenya? Walikuwa shatembea around, wanapata as low as 15,000. Here we are paying you 38. Ukiangalia wewe vile uko na vitu, because living at me, nilikuwa naangalia, nikichapa academic writing moja ama nifanye transcription itanipea hata maybe 1.87 USD per transcript. At that time, I used to work with Scribby, which was the lowest paying. So unapata hata niki-sacrifice, because hizo vitu ku-proofread haikuwa ina take time. 15 minutes, 30, 45. So ufanya hata for like 8 full hours, uko na pesa yako mzuri per day. So unapata unakaa chini unaangalia, mimi sina time yangu tena. And that's why I'm saying, I agree with the person that said, hakuna connection between employer na employee. Employer pia hataki understand needs za huyu employee. Then most of them pia hawataki adjust to the changes and environment of high economy. Unapata kama 30,000 unakulanga, hiyo ndio unakula, na hiyo ndio unaenda nayo home, na unapata mafuta sasa imepanda, kila kitu imepanda, so wewe bado unabaki. Yani mi wana call slavery. You are giving too much than whatever you are getting back. So that is my explanation in that, and according to my experience. Secondly, nilikuwa nataka kuguzia hii maneno ya tech. I think Eva alikuwa ametouch about it and especially on the kind of the course we are being offered, the IT part of it, which was good. For me, nilikuwa na take keen about it. I know so many people that we were with, hawakuwa wanachukua IT kama kitu ya maana. But you see, ilikuwa inaanza kufunza a lot of system as SPSS, vitu zenye ni very important, and especially in the NGO sector, because hiyo ndio inatumika kwa database. So una find most graduates saizi, PP, I am telling you for a fact, because I've worked with some of them, waambie hata waandike report. Na report ni kitu tu dakika moja, unaenda hapo Canva, you can design and nice, unaweza tumia tu template moja kutengeneza report poa sana. They cannot draft it. They can't. Ukimwambia tunaenda meeting ama tumetoka meeting, kuna memo inafaa kuandikwa, they cannot write that memo. Sasa hata kuna ChatGPT, unapata mtu hata hawezi rudi kwa hiyo ChatGPT kuangalia. Hiyo ni fresh graduates. Ndio maana nakwambia hata sisi wenyewe we have a problem and people don't want to adjust. Lazima adjust to the changing world. Lazima to adjust. Mimi have seen situations whereby graduates hawawezi hata fungua computer, they don't know anything in Microsoft Word, they don't know anything in Microsoft Excel. Actually for me, I'm not even a pro in Microsoft Excel, but I can do the basics. Sai ukiangalia pale internet kuna mpaka easy jobs za how do they call them, za data entry, and it is pure Excel and Microsoft Word. Now ume earn $10 yako ama ume earn, they are paying as much as $20. But you see, hizo ni vitu zenye zinataka sasa tech skills, na hizi tech skills graduates wengi wenye wana graduate sahi, they don't want to learn them because of course they're also not in the system. And I'm talking of myself. Like I've told you, I'm a teacher by profession. Me time yangu vile kwa nafunzo ualimu, the CBC haikuwa, so nilifundishwa na ile old system. Unapata nikiingia class, gava inataka kunipea basics, hizo method of teaching, vile nafaa kutumia 2D material. But you see, umenipeleka kwa hiyo class nifunze integrated science. I did English and literature. If you've not trained me, how will I do it? And I know in like 3 to 4 years, kutakuwa mpaka na hizo AI skills zenye mwalimu lazima utumie AI kuingiza marks, lazima uconsult AI uone understanding ya mtoto imekuwa wapi. And I tend to believe we'll be having the same problem again. So back to whatever I was saying. Skills are important. As much as we want to assume skills are, hata PP, I remember hata juzi hapo, I used to give you posters, unasema Grace utengeneze tu poster mzuri. And I remember I was trying to tell you, me, I want to learn this thing. I want to learn it so that I may be able to do it on my own. Until you are telling me, can you use Canva? Have you used Adobe? Have you used, so that I get to know what apps can I use to make my work better? So that is how people learn. Make hizo mistakes, tengeneza, utajipata tu umetengeneza kitu poa, na hapo ndo una learn the job. But hii maneno ya watu tu kusema ati mimi nishafanya ualimu, mimi ni engineer, lakini huwezi draw na computer. Wewe unataka kudraw na mkono. Na hizo mkono watu washatoka hapo. So like you have just to know how to acquire also other skills so that wakikuita ufanye kitu. Kwa sababu hata kama ni mimi mpishi, I can only do it better if I can create my own website, I can advertise what I do, I can make those sorry I can make hizo posters vizuri. Na enye website yangu mtu akiingia naona this is House of Grace Catering Service, call this line, blah 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 blah. If you want to get new recipes, click here, pay $5, get this recipe. Actually, Mimi, that is my dream. I want to reach there. I want to reach there myself. So that hata kama umekaa tu, so long as mtu ameingia kwa hiyo website yako ame-click, amesoma recipe, you are also earning. You know, as much as we want to ignore, but the fact is, the world is going to tech. For now, it is going to tech. And I know in the next years, e-tech pia itakuwa imekuwa so used, sasa people want manual skills. So just make sure you have both. So that ya sai, unaweza fanya sai. Actually, if you're a cook, because saizi tuseme, mtu alikuwa amesema hapo, you can open your hotel. Sai nikifungua hoteli, lazima nikuwe na food and safety certificate. How much is it? Lazima ukuwe na pesa ya kuitoa. Lazima ukuwe pia na handlers, food handler certificate, hiyo ni pesa. Lazima ukuwe na certificate yenyewe ya biashara, hiyo ni pesa. Kumbuka, you've not employed anyone, haujaleta food warmers, haujaleta anything, na hiyo yenyewe ni pesa. But think about it this way. I can be able to have my website. People can talk to me about recipes I can make. They pay me online. Surely, ujaeka kazi yake imekuwa rahisi ama umeweka. Then unamwambia, kama unataka nikuje physically nikupikie, this package is at this e-price. E-package pia iko e-price. Fine, Grace, come, when are you available? How much? This. Business inaenda nyue. hata si lazima ukuwe na hiyo hoteli. You know, those are the things me I always think about. Si lazima nikuwe na hiyo hoteli, si lazima hata nisimamishe hiyo hoteli hapo. I can use my computer and create money for myself where I am, so that day if somebody want my physical appearance, you pay for it. I come, I cook for you, you give me my money, I come back home. So you know, environment, me, I always look at myself. Mimi sitaki kuenda kujichafua na majikoni na majivu sijui from Monday to Monday. You are just trying to make your work easier, but you are doing it in a proper way, in that you look legit, you also earn from it at the comfort zone, yenye at the end of the month we unatoanga $2 zako pole pole. So I think tech is very important and everybody should be willing to learn it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Olwande. Gotta get that cough checked out, yeah? Eve, are you there?
Hey, Olwande, I think we're in the same train of thought. And yeah, the world is moving to tech. I like that you understand, you've understood your market, where you are, and what is moving. I was currently looking at the World Economic Forum report for the 2025 forecast for the job market for this year. And some jobs are going to be lost. Like the first one up there was administrative. Those people who are admin, assistants, and all those kinds of, and clerks. That was the first that's going to lose a lot of employees, and AI is going to pick up. So with tech, there are going to be more jobs created than the losses that are going to be experienced from those positions that are going to be redundant. And it's good that we are getting to a place whereby we know tech is going to be part of us. There's this guy, I don't know what's the other name, Tony. He's Tony someone. His TikToks usually go way overboard when he talks when he talks about AI and what he's doing with the education part of it, and how they want to incorporate AI in school learning. We really don't need to include, as in seclude ourselves from what is happening out here. Kumbuka hii wiki Nvidia lost about 1 trillion in stock just because of a Chinese-based large language model that can be easily placed. Kama saizi, we can easily buy it and say, okay, fine, we want to teach it and train it Swahili so that it can help us in all this other stuff. That is where we are moving. Unaona? We have to look for solutions that really benefit our certain niches and our certain markets. And also, we need to have this conversation about tech, like a serious deep dive about tech, because technology is it's not just IT, it's how you can incorporate. It's almost like for those people who are tech ni kurahisisha kazi, something that can take you from a problem to technology that you use hapo. That is tech. It's a technology at the end of the day. You've solved that problem and you will continue solving it with a certain technique that you actually have. So it's not just IT peke yake, it can easily be different things. Like saizi, when we are doing woodworking, we usually don't use hand tools. We have various tools that can be used. You can easily use one grinder to do your sanding if you don't have an orbital sander. Those are technologies that are out here. So yeah, we need to take ourselves from I like how China did it. they actually took themselves from being dependent on Nini. And I think our government also needs to do that. You just choose certain fields that can come up, that are coming up, that you cannot give subsidies on each and every field. For China, they actually boosted their manufacturing. That's why it's a manufacturing hub, because their government says, okay, fine, we need to create a certain atmosphere hapa hivi, whereby we know very well that they boost it for their people. So if the Chinese, if you find manufacturing mostly Chinese owned based or Chinese based companies, Chinese owned companies that are being given these subsidies, that are being promoted and all these kinds of stuff. As we don't have something of the sort here, our government's just like, okay, you're a business, aya, uko na business permit, uko na hii, uko na hii, uko na hii. And there are so very many permits you have to pay for. So very many. I don't know why, because Mara, if you want to go to Nema, you have to have food to do what? You have to have all these things. They are not even in one app. That, with China, they've managed to put so very many things in WeChat. Messaging, social media, all these kinds of stuff. But as we are using independent stuff, and this DeepSeek thing made me look at it, and like, you look at China and you're like, they're in a world of their own. They've managed to create a manufacturing hub as we are looking at the West, and yet we need to be looking at them and learn from them. Because currently where they're heading to is where we should be heading to, not the politics of the West and where they are. Where China is going, where the East is going, is where we need to head. If we are really a people of looking forward to greater things and efficiency at the end of the day, we really need to study China. We don't need to be afraid of these people, because what they're creating a world of efficiency. Wakikwambia ambulance is $50, while in the UK you pay about $900. It's crazy. It's really crazy. And the food in US is actually much more, 10 times more expensive than what they get in China. And China grows their own food. Also, us as Kenyans, we have the capacity to actually grow our food. But we don't want to put initiatives for farmers to grow their own food. It's really it's really depressing sometimes when you see, okay, fine, I have like a small patch over here, I can easily plant my garden and do all these kinds of stuff. But when you want to make it sustainable, the materials that you want to use to make it sustainable don't even match up to what you think you can easily get. When you see people building their own greenhouses, unaangalia yako ukisema, okay, fine, I need to build my own makeshift greenhouse. But ukiangalia prices za vitu materials zenye unaenda kuambia, wacha ikae. I want to be a plant dad like DK. I'll just let it be. But at the end of the day, Africa has the capacity to feed the whole world. We have it. We have it. Kwanza, this is our lands are free to feed this world, but we don't usually, tunataka kwenda kuombaomba. Yet we have something that we can easily cultivate and make a norm and see, okay, fine, this and this is going to happen, so I need to get into this field. Mtu ataingia, and then they don't apprentice other people in farming. So very many people who graduate take themselves to farming, because at the end of the day, if they have that capacity and the land and how they can produce, they take themselves to farming, because farming is something that you can easily, not easily, but the hard work you put and the techniques that you use, at the end of the day, if you continue and you easily, it is easy to multiply. Just the same way Aguko said that you can easily multiply, if you can easily multiply 1 shilling to 2, farming has that ability. We really need to talk about tech. Hapa kwa tech there's so much to unpack. We don't need to, I don't like how other people keep some stuff that, something of this sort of like this online work. When you get to it's used, okay, fine, you found a way to get online and have this online business, and have like the transcription work. Umepata, you can do it, and then you want to charge other people like 500 shillings to know how to get into. So how are we helping ourselves? How are we know very well that kama saizi those jobs are actually saturated saizi, with people trying to find out how to get in, people paying other people money on all these kinds of stuff, instead of actually looking at the other side of this whole technology thing, of actually, okay, fine, if you have transcriptions in one area, can we have someone transcribe in another area? Like, let's say if you have transcriptions in business, there's one in science, there's one from one language to the other, and all these kinds of stuff. There are different niches. I believe there's something for everyone. We can't all just dip our toes in. We try and dip our toes in everything, but there's something specific for everyone. We can bloom in a certain environment. But currently, saizi, with the politics that is going on, we are not blooming, because the environment that we are in is not conducive for the bloom itself. But with the kind of conversations that you're having, we are opening our minds, and we are actually seeing, and we are actually having that cognitive thinking, or that we can actually do stuff here in Kenya, than we don't have to go do in any other abroad countries. Yeah, maybe there are skills, yes, we are hardworking, that is our selling point, but at the end of the day, we can, if the country's policies were conducive enough, we would actually do those things here. Mi sitaki kwenda kufanya kazi nje, ati naenda kufanya kazi nje, and yet I can do most of it. I can solve problems here. We are a growing economy. There are so very many opportunities, but are those opportunities problems that we need, that are being solved currently hapa hivi sahi, or do we want to solve westernized problems? That's my take.
Thank you, Eve, for that as well. We have about 5 minutes before we call it a night. Japonji, what are your final words for us today? I know you've been doing most of the listening from work. Talk to us.
Hey, Pipi, thanks for the mic, and I appreciate everyone who have spoken before me, and it's always a great pleasure. And I wanted to say this, I just wanted to respond before I continue. Someone said something about job opportunities in Kenya, solving Kenyan problems. Look, it's not like there are no opportunities in Kenya, but I may ask you something. If I may ask you something, why would I become like a personal trainer or physical therapist in Kenya and earn like 3,000 Kenya shillings per day, instead of doing it like in Middle East or in Europe, where I can get the same in 1 hour, So you figure that out. So having said that, if there's something that I wanted to talk about, for example, for you who is doing these spaces on YouTube, you can diversify your income generation, such that I've done blogging before, and if only you can also, have a website, and then you can always have exclusive stories or something like that, and then you see how it goes. I've done blogging for 10 years before, and my first breakthrough actually, if I may say, I made my first 2 million, my first 2 million from blogging, and it was very good. And those times we used to blog and post all those things that nowadays they're called the fake news or whatever. Before the AI age and all that, bloggers used to make good money. It was not most of us who used to make it big. We never used to blog even about news like Kenya. We used to blog about stories India, US. If you had like a good Meta or Facebook page, you see all those links. We used to tell people to click that thing. We used to make almost minimum $100 per day, and until Facebook changed its terms and wants you to pay to advertise and all that. But there's still opportunity. As I speak now, it's only that you don't have time. But I would always suggest people that you do diversify your income sources and monetize, such that, for example, whatever we are doing here, you can always, apart from just YouTube monetization, try to create a website, and write, even if it's 1 or 2 stories. If you do 1 story per day or 1 article, at the end of the year, you will have 300 articles, and that's a lot. So people can always go in and fact check, or you can always tell people, go and check this story here, so you own it, and also by doing that, you have this opportunity to showcase, to showcase or to advertise local advertisement for others. I've done this before. I've worked with Truco. I've worked with Gafla, the owners. I've done this during that. You remember those decades ago when Gafla was Gafla. I've done all that, and I can tell you, any person listening who has internet, who can create a website, and who has you can get like 1,000 people to the site, you can make even $10 a day easily. Even as we speak, I have websites that I run, and I'm able to make those. I'm able to make maybe $12 without doing anything, So as long as you have your articles there, and then you just have to learn about search engine optimization, SEO, and then you just write your good articles to solve some problems, and then that's it. People will be sharing organically, So that's what I wanted to say. And as I close, you see, I'm looking for someone here who can help me do a website. I have already the domain for someone who is a web designer. And before I continue, people see, most of my websites are designed by Pakistanis, and Indians, because there's a problem, and I want to speak about it today. If I ask a Kenyan, a graduate like from JKUAT, or a youth who is hustling in Kenya, to come up and build for me a website, like for example, for downloading songs or live stream, they will tell me to put down 200K Kenya shillings. If I go to a Pakistani for the same job, they'll ask me for $100, So I'm just saying, there is that disconnect, with reality, So what I'm saying is, if there's anyone here listening who is able, who I can partner with, I have the idea, I have a website, I want to work on, I had a website before the mdundo.com before I sold it. I want to work on another site like Mdundo, whereby people can upload and download music, and we just monetize, and then it just go organically. So anyone who can help design the website and all that, we can work together. Thank you so much, PP, and God bless.
Asante sana Japonji. I know you reach out to Mushiri wa Mushiri. I will tell you more about it later. Reach out to Mushiri wa Mushiri. It has been quite a conversation in terms of unemployment here on the Investment Mondays on Home Run with PP. Thank you so much for keeping me company. I see Chef KT has joined us. Chef. Hi, chef. Okay, thank you so much for keeping us company from the start at 4 p.m. all the way to 9 right now. I'd like to say thank you so much. We'll be back here again tomorrow for a State of the Nation, of course, putting a pulse on the nation's a hand on the nation's pulse. But today I'd like to call it a night. Unemployment has been a great issue. It's actually the reason why we are here with Home Run with PP. And of course, as I always say, if you like what you're doing, you can always keep the lights going on. Nasikia Japonja anaongelea mambo ya extra sources of income. If you want t-shirts from Home Run with PP, t-shirts, caps, and you can always support me anytime, any day. The branding is now official. So yeah, check it out and request for part of our merchandise to support Home Run with PP. Oluwande, you have final words for us before I call it tonight?
Yes, I was trying to maybe inbox Japunji and I didn't get him on inbox, but I hope I'll be able to get you on DM. I think you've not activated your DM to private messages because there are few things I want to learn. Like I said, I want to set up my website for catering. So I'll really need advice, maybe unless
Sorry, Olwande, that is very easy. You don't even need to be an IT expert or a web designer. Okay, I will talk about it. Let me just DM you, and then you can always we can always work that around. I was trying to respond to your message I saw on the Jumbotron. Thank Pipita, I'm out. Thanks. We will communicate.
Okay, thank you.
Asante sana for that as well. Inaona ni mzuri mnakuja hapa hivi pia mna connect. Msikwe tu unarudi bila kupata hata mtu wa kuconnect. I know the people have even gotten love on Home Run with Bibi. Na alafu wakacha kukuja kwa show. Yani wa Kenya nyinyi. Yani nyinyi wa Kenya nyinyi. Yani mtu anakuja kwa show yako, anapata love, alafu anaacha kukuja kwa show yako. That is how bad it is. Yeah? Mnakuja mnatafuta love hapa mna DMiana, that was a funny submission. Alafu kesho na kesho kutwa siwaoni wote kwa space. Kidogo naona kwa timeline mnaitana habi and mami. Nashangaa sasa ni niliokosea wapi?
Pipi mimi niko na bibi wawili already.
Sasa hiyo inakufanya even more dangerous. Inamaanisha uko na capability ya kuoa. Unajua sasa ni hatari zaidi, hata heri ile yenye hujui kabisa, lakini yenye unajua kabisa wewe ni mtu hatari.
Pipi, can I have one last word? I forgot something. Just one last word. Okay, Pipi, I just wanted to request if anyone who is interested in search engine optimization, I have a document that I can email everyone for free. I don't know how I can share it here. And it's something that I invested a lot on. Nilinunua, I think when it was like $400, and I'm giving for free. So anyone can go through it and learn how to open your own website, how to write search engine optimization articles, and then you can just have a website there. Yenye mtu akisearch tu kwa Google inatokea hapo and you earn. You just earn passive income. It's called passive income. And I can tell you today, as you can see, most of the followers, I think 50% are from South Africa, because I always resonate with South Africa. I write a lot of articles about South Africa. For those who know how to blog, you realize that cost per click in South Africa inakwanga like almost $0.5. Kenya, cost per click inakwanga $0.01. Unaget. So, and then in US inakwanga between like $1 to sometimes $3. You see, so that's why my niche is always in South Africa mostly. And yeah, that's what I wanted to say. So anyone who is interested, I can just, do an email or whatever. I don't know how I can do that. So I can send you that search engine. I've sent to a lot of people and they have actually gotten to that point of passive income. You just need to follow. If there's anything, I can help you through it for free. Thank you so much.
Hi, reach out to Japonji for that as well. It's good to help each other grow as well. Big boss.
Kaka, najua hii itakuwa imekukera. Muda ule unasema unataka angalau upumzishe fuvu. Kuna sisi sasa ndo tunapata angalau kamwanya, angalau tujuliane tu hali. Jua si lazima sote tuongee katika mada. Kujuliana hali pia muhimu brother. Ila nashukuru familia ziko poa. Familia ziko poa, manake ndo nusu ya kuonana. Hivi tulipoamka tukamwomba Mwenyezi Mungu, tukamwambia asante kwa kutukumbuka, kutuamsha katika wale wamejaliwa kuamka leo. Sasa ni jukumu kutulinda kuwe na usiku. Usiku ukifika tena unarudi kwa Mungu. Sasa Mungu, ni muda tena ijalie na mimi katika wale watakumbukwa kuamka niwe mmoja wao. Yenyewe maisha na mtihani kaka, na katika hiyo mitihani tunajifunza mengi. Hili swali ndugu yangu la kuhusu ajira na maisha ya vijana ni vurugu sana. Ni vurugu zenye twende nyuma turudi mbele. Itakuwa ngumu wakati samahani kidogo. Na leo kuna vikohozi nini. Nimemsikia dada mmoja hapa, sitaki kumtaja jina, sipendi. Amekohoa sana. Pia mimi naanza tu kukohoa. Hivi kwenye space umeweka pilipili?
Nimemwagatia gasumu ndani.
Tushazoea hiyo. Sasa katika upande wa vijana wapate angalau mapato na chochote watatia angalau hata riziki. Ni mtihani ambao mpaka leo hauna fumbo la kutatulika. Kwa sababu gani hauna fumbo la kutatulika? Wale baba zetu, hata wengine si baba, ni babu aswa, bado wanaamini wao ndo wafaa wawe kwenye hizo nafasi. Alafu bado wao ndo wanakushauri usomee hizo nafasi. Alafu hawana nia ya kuwa watastaafu leo, wataondoka leo. Wako radhi wafie kwenye hivyo viti. Si mtihani huo ndugu yangu? Ukisema ujichanganye urudi katika upande wa kipato cha kawaida, ujitafutie kariziki kokote, bora kaingie tu. Wewe utaandamwa wewe. Hata uweke tomato zako 2 barabarani, uwe na kibanda angalau basi tu, isiwe shughuli. Kila mtu amesimama na vitabu vyake. Hapo ulianzaje kazi? Unalipa akaunti wapi? Nini? Ifike tu time hata wao wenyewe wakubwa kae tu afikirie. Hao vijana wanateseka. Hao vijana tunawatarajia, tukisema hao ndo nguvu ya taifa. Nguvu ya taifa ipi hiyo yenyewe haina cha kuweka mkononi? Madamu ilikuwa ni funga kazi, acha niachie tu hapo. Ila wafikirie sana wanapowashauri vijana wasome na bidii waje wapate ajira, wawe tayari nao kuondokea hizo ajira vijana wafaa wapate. Basi tu. Sawa ndugu yangu kwa leo.
Asante sana
ndugu. Muda upatikane tu nipenye, angalau nikinena hivyo huwa nahisi tumesalimiana brother.
Vizuri hivyo bro. Ni hivyo, tunajua pia maisha mpaka yanaenda pale hivyo, unapata kwamba saa zingine umekuwa umelemewa kufika kwenye mic. So at least ukipata nafasi ya kuongea tunashukuru bro. Haya, asanteni sana. Thank you so much for everybody who has made this an amazing one. I'd like to call it a night right now. We'll be back here again tomorrow, same time, same place, hapa kwenye Home Run, PP 4 p.m. all the way to 9 p.m. East African time. My name is MC Pipita. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, join Home Run with PP every weekday from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. only on X Spaces. Home